Illegal Aliens by Tyler Durden. Tuesday, March 19, 2024, 1:20 p.m. The Supreme Court on Tuesday dealt a blow to the Biden administration's attempts to keep the U.S. border open, allowing Texas to enforce a new law giving local police the power to arrest migrants. With 3 liberal justices dissenting, the conservative majority court rejected an emergency request by the Biden administration, which claimed that states have no authority to legislate on immigration. The ruling means that Texas law can go into effect while litigation continues in lower courts. The law, SB 4, allows police to arrest migrants who illegally cross into the United States from Mexico and imposes criminal penalties. It also empowers judges to deport people to Mexico. Texas is the nation's first-line defense against transnational violence and has been forced to deal with the deadly consequences of the federal government's inability or unwillingness to protect the border, Texas argued in court papers. The dispute is the latest clash between the Biden administration and Texas over immigration enforcement on the U.S.-Mexico border. A federal judge blocked the law after the Biden administration sued, but the New Orleans-based 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals said in a brief order that it could go into effect March 10 if the Supreme Court declined to intervene. On March 4, Justice Samuel Alito issued a temporary freeze on the law to give the Supreme Court time to consider the federal government's request. NBC News. Solicitor General Elizabeth Prelogar said in court filings that Texas law is flatly inconsistent with Supreme Court precedent dating back 100 years. Those decisions recognize that the authority to admit and remove non-citizens is a core responsibility of the national government, and that where Congress has enacted a law addressing those issues, state law is preempted, she said, adding that the appeals court did not explain its reasoning for allowing the law to go into effect. And what about the GDP? The new ruling may put a crimp in the Biden administration's seeming plan to flood the country with low-wage labor in an effort to boost GDP, which Democrats now insist would benefit to the tune of $7 trillion thanks to illegal immigrants, who are allowed to work indefinitely whilst waiting for the U.S. immigration system to process their asylum claims. Recall that 10 million illegals have entered the U.S. under Biden, while virtually all of the job gains under Biden have gone to foreign-born workers. Looks like their great replacement theory scheme has just suffered a swift kick to the huevos. This unprecedented surge in illegal immigration isn't an accident. It is the result of deliberate policy choices by the Biden administration, said Eric Ruark, Director of Research for Numbers USA, a nonprofit that advocates for immigration restrictions. Looks like Krugman is going to have to go back to the drawing board. Maybe he can get back to work finding out who hacked child porn onto his computer. Did the Supreme Court just disrupt the plan? 119, 9021, 119. More political stories on Zero Hedge. Woman who worked for Congress after January 6 charged in Capitol breach. It's enraging. NYC homeowner arrested for changing locks after squatters take over. Sorghum, the ancient grain for modern health. Show comments. Discrimination notice. Privacy policy. Disclosure. Disclaimer. Advertise with Zero Hedge. Copyright.
The Democrat open borders plan to entrench single-party rule, explained in under 2 minutes. 1. Flood the country with untold millions of illegals by land, sea, and air from all over the world, enough to eclipse the populations of 36 individual U.S. states so far. 2. Prioritize the needs of these millions of non-citizens over the needs of the American citizen, with free flights, buses, hotels, meals, and phones, ensuring their loyalty to the political party that imported them. 3. Keep them in the country at all costs, even when they commit violent crime like murder and rape. Attack the language used to describe the criminals, as opposed to the criminals themselves. Slander critics as racist. 4. Ensure their privileges are made irrevocable with city and state sanctuary laws that act as population magnets. Codify permanent status and ensure non-cooperation with ICE. 5. Count the non-citizens in the census that will determine congressional apportionment in the House of Representatives. As of now, that would equal 13 extra congressional districts, a tremendous amount of electoral power. 6. Wage a massive, heavily funded lawfare campaign to change state voting laws that legalize mass mail-in ballots, no signature verification, and no proof of citizenship requirements, making it nearly impossible to prove voter fraud. 7. Lock in the permanent voting majority with campaign promises of lavish benefits and permanent privileges, enshrining generational fealty to the Democrat Party. 8. Win elections. 9. Entrenched single-party rule has been achieved. The best part? Your tax dollars are paying for it.